Okay, so we're gonna go over sacrum coccyx. Sacrum coccyx, you're gonna have a patient laying on the table supine. We're gonna use a 40-inch SID. We want to ensure that our tube is in transverse intent. We're gonna use a 10 by 12 cassette size, or collimation, because we have the 14 by 17 cassette size in there. So we're gonna line up our tube and bucky there, make sure that we're set, collimate down to 10 by 12. Lengthwise, and then we want to make sure that we have an angle on our tube. Because of the angle of the sacrum in the body, we want to match that. So we're going to angle 15 degrees towards the nose for the AP sacrum, and then we angle 10 degrees towards the toes for the AP coccyx. So I'm going to feel on her side here and find her as is. The central ray point technically is 2 inches superior to the symphysis pubis, but because we don't palpate that, I find the as is, and I go about 2 inches or 3 fingers inferior to that. I want to make sure that I'm centered at the mid-sagittal plane, and you can do a couple things to check that you're centered properly. Find the top of the iliac crest and ensure that you have light to the top of the crest. And then you can also have your patient bend their knees up slightly and use the crease of their leg to see where the symphysis pubis would lie. I'm going to put my marker, my right marker up here in the anterior corner of the cassette. And then I would have my patient take in a breath, blow it out, and hold it out. All right, so then you can relax, and then I'm going to angle down 10 degrees towards the 10 toes for my coccyx, realign my tube and bucky, and I'm going to center in the exact same spot. I know it sounds weird to center in the same place, but because of the angle of the tube, it's changing where your central ray is entering at. So I want to be 2 inches superior to the symphysis pubis. I'm going to collimate down. The coccyx is only about the size of a quarter or postage stamp, so we don't need much light. I want to ensure that I'm still centered at the mid-sagittal plane. I can double check again by bending up the leg. Make sure that I'm 2 inches superior to the symphysis pubis. And then I would just have my patient again, take in a breath, blow it out, hold it out. Good, you can breathe. Now what I'm going to have you do is roll onto your left side for me. Put both feet and hips right on top of each other, both hands together in front of your face. I'm going to take my angle off and realign my tube and bucky. I want to make sure, because I collimated down on the last one, that I open it back up to a 10 by 12 lengthwise. I'm going to ensure that my patient isn't rotated. And then I'm going to find the as is. And I'm going to center 3 to 4 inches posterior, about 4 inches actually posterior to that. Directly posterior to the as is. I can double check, make sure, here's my mid-coronal plane. I want to be at least 1 inch posterior to the mid-coronal plane. And then I'm going to check to make sure that I have the top of the sacrum on there. So then I would have my patient just take in another breath, blow it out, and hold it out. So that's it for the sacrum coccyx.